Master 25S.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Well, you just hurt for those kids that just put so much on the line and into that game. And, and just like I told them, I mean, you walking off that field, obviously, a W or an L means a lot to kids in that moment. It's just, you feel terrible for them for feeling like losers, but told them that there weren't any losers tonight. Our kids battled their tails off.
I thought it was a pretty good performance, man. It's a tough Halstead team. They're always tough and gritty, and they'll continue to get better as the year goes on. They're a young team, but really proud of how we played.
We just talked to them before the game, and we said, hey, I don't know if we're a physical football team. We can talk about being a physical team, and we can rah-rah and stuff at practice, but until you prove it, until you put it on the tape, you don't know.
Be able to get back out there, be able to compete with my brothers that I've been working on this whole off-season with, felt great. I feel like, we picked up right where we left off at. As an offense, I feel like we put a big emphasis on, not making the mental mistake.
It wasn't perfect by any stretch. I think we had some rough moments really in that second quarter there, but I think we needed this. This was a game where we learned a lot.
And like I said coming into the game, this game's not going to define our season. We got 10 more regular season games to play, but I think it does serve as a good benchmark for us of kind of what we're capable of.
Garoppolo, shotgun snap, fires the slant. It's Twelve Myers at the goal line. He leads in. Touchdown Raiders. Jacoby Myers on the slant, and the Raiders with an extra point will take the lead here in Denver.
Parsons at left tackle again, makes a stunt, and Jones throws it out to the left. Fumble! Recovered in the air at the 20. Run into the end zone by Deron Bland.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Monday show. Steve Webster with you. Mike Corson here. Mike Corson here.
Hi, Steve.
And Aaron Clark.
Yeah.
And Mike Hesher.
Yeah.
All excited, pumped up, ready to go. Man, we've got a lot of things to cover on the show today. To help us do it, Aaron Clark, he won't move from his chair. The clean-shaven Aaron Clark, by the way. That looks great.
Thank you.
Talk about the game between Hayes and Great Bend on Friday night. Great Bend Tribune sports editor Jim Mazunas will be in, and Mike Corson going on the prowl for Great Bend Panthers Sports. He'll be talking with cross-country coach Lyles Lashley. Weekend sports headlines and the sounds the past 24 hours or so. I like to go to stories of technology. I like Rand McNally maps, right? Remember last year you used the technology,
yes.
Ended up inside the Sedgwick County Zoo?
Yep.
Okay. How did you get to Halstead Friday night, Hesh?
Well, we had no problem getting there, but getting back, we kind of took a roundabout way. So, yeah, it was interesting. You want to really?
Did you not know about the new bypass?
Well,
between
the satellite did not know about it, nor did Gene Manwaller know about that, and I was too confused to say, hey, look, if we turn right here, we're going to be home a lot quicker than what happened. So we joined Aaron in the geographic issues.
But did you get to see any stingrays?
No, we did not. It was about 11 o'clock at night. We got home at midnight. It was not
how
fun.
did you come back?
281?
I'm not even sure how we came back, to be honest with you. 96, the old 96. We went through Sterling, we went through Nickerson, which you don't have to do anymore.
No, it takes off like about 25 minutes.
I realize that. Fortunately, the place we ate wasn't bad, so I was full. And I was driving, so.
Okay, like I said, you want a great Christmas present idea for somebody? Rand McNally's.
Amen.
And you can.
But to be fair, that new highway's not in your Rand McNally either. It would have rerouted you through Nickerson.
But I was told you could spend $95 and get the upgrade for the satellite, which would have probably told us about the new 96.
Well, Corson brings up a good point.
That's
there.
true.
I'll tell you where the speed traps are.
You just got to.
Lyons, Ellenwood,
Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Claflin.
Real.
We came through Lyons and we went north that way because I was taking Gene home. It was an experience, let me tell you.
So
we won't even talk about the broadcast facility.
You went to Ellsworth?
No,
we went home from Halston.
No.
Okay. All right, let's get to our sounds of past 24 hours. Aaron Beck, many times we build up games and many times they don't live up to expectations. Wow. 28-27. Hayes ends up winning the game on Friday night. I was not there. Two guys here in the studios who were. And Mike Corson, I'll just, we're going to break it down more here in the next segment with Aaron. But your take on the game on Friday night at Lewis Field Stadium.
And Aaron can jump in here because he had a better view. But right before Malik Baugh throws the go-ahead touchdown, a Panther got into the backfield, appears to take down the quarterback. No timeouts. That would be a running clock. Flag comes out. I thought it was a late hit. And we're all like, well, how was that late? No, he threw the ball, did he not? And then I see the Panthers sideline saying intentional grounding. Makes sense. The kid was like 3/4 of the way down, I think. But I think they waved off the flag, but it still stopped the clock on the incomplete pass. Didn't cost him any yards. And it was a great draw. Ball had a halfback pass in the first game of the season, which was a low score. And I think we heard it wasn't necessarily drawn up that way, but if the option presented itself, and the kid snuck away in the corner of the end zone.
And that's got to talk to Coach Crow a little bit after the game up in the press box when he was talking to Hayes Media. And like Corson said, they originally didn't necessarily plan for Baugh to throw it there. They were kind of telling him just get to the edge and try to run it because it was 4th and 8, I believe, was what they were trying to convert on. And so that's a long way, but Baugh is just, he's an electric player, and he kept his head downfield. And props to Johnny Cano as well, the Hayes wide receiver, who was able to get behind the Great Bend defenders. He felt the defense. I think he felt the defense kind of respecting Baugh on the run, and he just dropped back behind it and was able to make the catch.
And speaking of Baugh, in the second half, he opened up the second half with like a 30-yard run. After that, most of his runs were 8 yards or less, quite a few of them under 5 yards. So that 4th and 8 was by no means a gimme. He had like 236 yards I had him for, but almost half that came on 2 of his runs. So really, Great Bend did a pretty outstanding job keeping him bottled up, minus the 2 times the kid's going to escape.
And that was what I was going to bring up a little bit. In the first half, he had Baugh ripped off about a 60-yard run.
72.
And after that, Great Bend really clamped down on him pretty well. They limited him to, like Corson said, he wasn't getting first down runs, which last season especially he averaged 10.5 yards a carry. And after those big chunk runs, the Panthers were kind of able to focus in and hold him to more of a close, maybe only a 6-yard average, which is still not what you want, but it was substantially better run defense than what they had showed. But just
it kind of goes back to running backs who they're all the same. Well, if you've got one that can take it to the house every time he touches the ball, that's a huge weapon.
And Coach Crow also kind of hit on it before the game. It's just a lot more physical running. In the past, Baugh, he's a little bit of a smaller guy, and he's been a little bit of a shiftier, kind of make you miss kind of back. This season especially, he's able to kind of take tackles and fall forward for 2-3 yards on plays. And it was just an impressive demonstration from him, and Panthers were almost had the win.
Yeah. And then he picked the flag up, right? Was he right behind the line of scrimmage? I mean, evidently they must have decided that he was out of the
I think the distraction was that he was out of the tackle box.
And there may have been somebody, I don't know if the ball went past the line, but, man, it was clearly an obvious attempt. He knew he was in trouble. He just
that's the other one. Did it go past the line of scrimmage? Yeah.
But offensively, Daxton Minton got more impressive as the game went in game 1. Comes out game 2, scrambling, throwing, 22, 26. I think the official is 286. Ian Premer, when he catches the ball, he's not waiting to get tackled. He's swimming through defenders, bopping their heads, fighting for yards. 2 interceptions, so that makes it 3 on the season. Cooper Omont had the big return game 1, almost 2 more interceptions Friday in Hayes. I tell you, there's a lot of excitement out there.
There's a lot of excitement. Yeah, you lost the game, sure, but the Panthers are coming.
Well, and even Daxton goes out, I think, with cramps. Omont takes over for a snap at quarterback. Beautiful play draw to the opposite side of the end zone. And I'm watching the defender and thinking, that's a pick, 600 yards. Here comes Colton Brock, undercuts it. And
I really wanted to talk about that play as well, because it was a great play by Cooper. He sprinted to his right. Maybe, I'm not sure if he was supposed to throw it back to Colton Brock necessarily. I'm sure the Panthers were hoping for a little bit of a better pass, but he got into a position where the senior Colton Brock could make the catch correct, and Brock came down with a catch and managed to break a tackle to get that score for the Panthers.
What a game. What a game. Other games in Western Athletic Conference on Friday. Junction City beat Dodge City 52-35. Garden City over Wichita North 70-15. And Liberal 47, Emporia 14. Liberal's off to a 2-0 start.
One I want to mention, you never know how good McPherson is. Great Bend beat them, but how good are they? Take down Augusta 57-10.
Routed them.
It also made Coach Pav the winningest coach in McPherson high school history.
Good for him.
Yeah, big congratulations to Coach Pav. Great guy.
Zach Baird, they go to Halstead 38-14. Mike Hesher, before he got lost on the way home, had the call. Your take from that game?
It was pretty much workmanlike. I mean, Hoisington really didn't do anything fancy. I think one of the things they will tell you is some of their underclassmen are really stepping up because they had a long return on the first game, and then they had a 95-yard interception return on something like that. Could have been 95 years old. I don't know. 95-yard interception return for a touchdown. It was 20-7 at the time. Halsted was about to go in to make it 20-14, and then once again, all of a sudden, it's 27-17, and it was pretty much workmanlike after that.
Okay, so Hoisden 2-0. They get Lions on Friday night. Lions defeated by the Larned High School Indians 60-0. Head coach Brady Keith gets his first career victory and said his team was physical, not just talking about it in practice, jumping up, yeah, and then going out. But 60-0. Congratulations to Larned. We'll talk with Brady Keith coming up on the show on Thursday. Other high school scores, Ellenwood gets their second win. Brett Stint is going to be here tomorrow to talk about it. They beat Douglas 40-6. Russell outlasted Plainville 20-13. Ellsworth over Republic County easily. Central Plains. Okay, they got my attention. J.D. Klima is going to be in here on Wednesday. They beat Maxville 58-12. They're off to a 2-0 start. Kinsley over Otis Bison 50-0. Skyline over Stafford 46. Zip St. John put 68 up on Ness City, 68-22 to even their record at 1-1 on the season. Victoria bounces back from that loss against Kinsley, 44-22. They beat the Leopards. And let's see, anything else stand out there?
What is that? Ellenwood's allowed 6 points in 2 weeks?
Yep.
So they've had some decent athletes who are capable of scoring, but it was how much are they going to let in 6 in 2 weeks? I don't care who you're playing. That's impressive.
Okay, Jalen Daniels, Kansas beats Illinois 34-23. I was kind of worried about that game. I just have a lot of respect for Brett Bielmy as a head coach. But KU was in control most of the way. They win at 34-23. Now they get Nevada on Saturday. That's going to be a late start, 9:30 kickoff out in Reno. And, yeah, Nevada's had some good teams, but not this year.
I was going to say, definitely a little bit of a step.
Yes,
a little bit of a step down from Illinois, but another chance for KU to just kind of collect themselves before launching into, I believe they get BYU in Week 4 to open up Big 12 play.
Will Howard said they learned some things against Troy. They kind of struggled for a while. They ended up pulling away 42-13. K-State now gets the stinking Missouri Tigers in Columbia on Saturday.
I was like, go back to KU. Really fun offense to watch. Daniels is, I'd say, one of the more composed, electric offensive players in the country.
He is, as long as he can stay healthy. I don't know if that's good.
And they got Neal and Grimm and the Fairchild kid from Andy. It's kind of a fun offense to watch.
Daniels had a great quote about a throw he made, a touchdown to Luke Grimm in the first half, and just the trust that he has in Grimm. He said he saw him one-on-one, and there's not many opportunities.
He threw that ball in a trash can, too. I mean, that was...
Yeah, it was an excellent placement for him, but the trust he has with his wide receivers, I think, makes Daniels a very dangerous quarterback.
I didn't know what to think about this. If Texas was still in the Big 12, I'd say, yeah, that's cool. Now,
Alabama's still just the pinnacle of evil for me, and so when they can lose, it still just makes me.
I like the pinnacle of evil. So I've always liked Alabama.
Alabama and Notre Dame go head to head. I can't watch it.
I will say I do love what some of the offensive linemen Alabama's been able to crank out over the years.
Well, they didn't crank enough. They ended up getting beat by 10.
I'd rather see Texas because obviously with the new system, 1 loss is tough to get into the Final Four. 2 losses is you're out. So I like that Alabama already has 1 strike against them. I'd much rather watch Texas late in the year than Alabama.
I can't believe they didn't get in last year with 2 losses. I thought the Alabama rule was in place.
And I will say it was interesting watching Alabama because Jalen Milroe, their new quarterback, he's a lot more mobile than a couple of the guys they have been. Obviously, Jalen Hurts when they had him was, but Milroe a lot more mobile than Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones and even Bryce Young the last year, but not quite the passer. And Texas was kind of able to get some pressure on him, make some questionable throws. If Texas's defense can perform like that, Quinn Ewers should be able to guide the Longhorns to some pretty productive offense, especially with the wide receivers they have like Xavier Worthy.
Everybody's saying, climate change, the world's coming to an end. Alabama's ranked number 10. I think that's a much better indicator that something.
The times are near.
Alabama's number 10 in the country
Nick
right
Saban's going to tear the country apart with his bare hands if they dip much lower.
They may fire him.
Wouldn't that be the biggest
And
headline?
Deion Sanders comes in and takes over to Alabama.
It seems crazy to think that Bill Belichick could be on the hot seat in New England a few years ago, and now you listen to reports, depending on how this season goes, there could be a mutual parting between the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick knows too much about the owner, Robert Kraft, so I don't think
he'll take an unfortunate skiing trip up there to Vermont and not come back.
The call on the Raiders radio network, Jimmy Garoppolo completes a 6-yard pass to Jacoby Myers for the touchdown. That tied the game. The Raiders end up beating the Broncos 17-16.
Watching it early, Denver was ahead, and I'm like, yes, turnaround's coming. But I was like, that's still in mid-third quarter. Go figure. Here comes Oakland.
And the call on the Cowboys radio network, Deron Bland picks off Daniel Jones to take it home. 22-yard interception return. Cowboys beat the Giants 40-0. They're going crazy right now. I mean, the Dallas network is and no other teams will be mentioned.
And I just think it's funny because there were a lot of Giants fans giving Kadarius Toney flack for all those footballs that he dropped for the Chiefs. And then their team goes out there and gets 40-burgered on prime time. I just think maybe it's a little bit of a nice little egg on your face there.
It turns out the highlight was the national anthem by Queen Latifah. Had a bunch of the firefighters down there. And got me thinking that's probably why they have the 2 New York teams playing this weekend.
I did
Brett
think
Favre didn't help.
The Cowboys were wearing the New York Fire Department, and they had the red on there. Looked like they would have been a lot better in the NYPD with the blue. It would have went with the Cowboys motif a lot better, but just stuck out. I was curious why they were wearing the red on the Cowboys side.
Cleveland beat Cincinnati 24-3. San Francisco 30. Pittsburgh 7. Green Bay beat the Bears 38-20.
Joe Burrow getting a little too comfortable with all that money. Numbers were terrible.
They start out slow every year.
Well, they do because he hasn't played that much in preseason.
He missed a month this year with his calf. He missed the month last year with his appendix. Last year in week 1, they get beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think the Browns have a chance to be a much better team than the Steelers were last year, but I think the Bengals can still bounce back.
According to the gentleman on Trading Post who watches the Bengals, he said they didn't play any starters during the exhibition season. So
he's our Cincinnati Bengals
insider. I know.
Correspondent.
He kind of let me know that.
Between Chase and Bushton.
Yes.
Miami beating the Chargers 36-34 tonight, Monday Night Football. The Jets
versus the Bills.
Jets.
That's going to be a good game. I didn't see any NFL yesterday. I went to the fair for the first time in probably 20 years. I think the last time I went to the state fair, a Prado pup was like $2. It's $5 now.
What a deal! I was going to go $7.50. Did you do the Old Mill?
Had to go to the
Same
Old Mill.
thing, isn't it?
Had to go to the Old Mill. A ride on the Ferris wheel with me and the sweetie, $15.
Worth it.
To see the smile on Deb Webb's face, though, priceless.
So the Old Mill, it says, please do not stand up in the ride. whatever. I'm an adult. They have that sign for a reason.
I still had
I
still had anxiety coming down that last one because back in my day, when you could actually scare people in one of the places, it'd always come out. I swear it was a live snake. I'm sure it was a rubber one, but
might have been.
Yeah. So there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. Great weekend, Mike Corson, for Panther volleyball. Hey, 9-0 right now. You talk about making a statement. There you go.
A couple of those teams were top 6 in Class 2A, and so Great Bend is 9-0. 8 of those wins in 2 sets. I went back through their record book trying to find maybe when the last time Great Bend was 9-0, just because it's so hard to go undefeated in volleyball. It could be 2 or 3 decades at least. And maybe there's somebody that snuck in there. They had some records, and then they stopped posting individual records. But based on the records by the end of the season, it's hard to believe any of those teams started at 9-0. So it's actually really impressive to do.
Okay. Shelley Duvall in tomorrow.
Yes.
You're going to arrange that, right? Because you're getting ready to go. Are you wearing your track uniform in here tomorrow? Come on,
God,
no. Come on, yeah.
Please,
I want to see.
No.
I want to see what he.
He has to. I think he has to wear you got to wear it in. You got to see what you got to let us see what you're going to break history in the 42 and under class.
I like that KVGB shirt though. I mean, because you're representing the media, so.
I've got it, and it's one of my finalists. Do they wear eye black in track meets? I haven't.
Well, if you do, make sure it's regulation, not drag down your face.
Well, that's the only way you wear it
across.
now, is because you got to. It's yeah.
You got to scare the other competitors.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
No, I'm thinking that when I show up down there, this guy might actually be able to run a 400 and then get beat by Gravy Stains
Again,
McGee.
are you using blocks?
I'm curious if they're going to be out there. I think if they're out there, I'll use them just to say I did.
Have you thought about false starting?
I hope they do have the gun because I want to experience it, and I want an official time so I can lean. Maybe dive a little bit.
I'm excited to get this time because then we can officially compare how Corson would do against the track. We're going to have measurements.
You're on Sports Day this week. Now, what day is the race?
Sunday.
Oh,
I'll have it in your Monday Sportscast. We will have the results.
Yeah, so I live on Kansas Mile Split, so I'm hoping to have my time posted somewhere as awful as it may be, officially. But you get a Prefontaine Classic bib, that's worth any pain I'll suffer. That's a keeper.
Mental pain, embarrassment.
Shin splints, cramps.
But a bib is forever.
Speaking of runners, real quick, Addie Nicholson, nobody had run a 19 5K, so she runs 18:29. Impressive meet up there, and Great Bend gets 5th, which is awesome.
Anything else from the weekend? There's so many things that went on. Aaron didn't even do NFL scores this morning on sports.
It's beautiful. Not that they didn't do NFL, just that there's so much.
I mean, it's way better than mid-July when I have to throw in, hey, the Royals lost, the Rockies lost,
I
the
heard these
Cardinals
Twix
lost.
bars got discussions.
me and Hesh almost split them, but
I don't know whose they are. So a good thing you didn't eat them. If someone put them in there for me, there may have been
a trap. Your enemies have gained access.
Can I identify them and I get them? It's 2 little Twixes. It was a right and a left one.
No, it's glued together, if I recall right, wasn't it?
I think it's taped together.
Taped together, yes.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to check those out. Yes.
If you haven't had the cookie dough Twix, check those out.
You got to go.
Okay, I know we got to go. But one other thing from the state fair, it's kind of like the feeling I got when I went on a cruise ship. You know, and I thought, well, I guess I don't want to take my shirt off. And then, you know, my daughter said, don't worry about it. You'll be amazed at how good a shape you're in. I felt pretty good walking down the Midway yesterday. It looked like a road full of Civil War veterans, man. I mean, I was walking past people, and I felt like I was striding yesterday.
That Mickey Mouse tattoo on your chest was working.
Okay, we're going to talk more Panthers and Hayes High Indians from Friday night. Stay with us on Sports Day.
Extend the life of your equipment with Cenex Premium Greases. Engineered with quality-based oils and well-balanced formulas to protect equipment in a wide range of temperatures and tough conditions. The Cenex line of grease products offer excellent rust protection, water resistance, and anti-wear properties to extend equipment life. Cenex Grease delivers the dependability you need to keep your operation running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Cooperative Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Barton Community College is excited to announce the expansion of the welding program with an Associate of Applied Science degree and a 2-semester certificate. With our expanded offerings, you'll gain knowledge in welding techniques, safety procedures, blueprint reading, and more. Get hands-on training from Barton faculty with industry experience, ensuring you develop the skills needed to excel in your career. Now enrolling. Learn more at welding.bartoncccc.edu.
It's time to dig deep into Great Bend Panther football on Sports Day as we bring you the voice of the Panthers, Aaron Clark.
And Mike Corson.
Sports Day today brought to you in part by Equity Bank. We're right here beside you, equitybank.com. Also by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor and shop local when you can. 28 to 27. I wasn't there, boys. You two were. Mike Corson. What a game.
I'll say I was impressed by both sides of the ball. So many young kids out there, but also some big seniors, Matthew Johnson, Colton Brock. Got a side you were more impressed with?
In terms of youth or in terms of Great Bend or Hayes?
Just productivity and what they were doing.
Oh, man, it was just a really great game all over. I liked late what we saw, some real versatility from a young player we've been bringing up a lot, Cale Kern. He's been playing some outside linebacker where he drops into pass coverage. Late in the game, when Hayes was kind of in more of a passing situation, they dropped him to a dime look where they actually had him playing down on the line of scrimmage where they had, I believe it was Deion Jones and Brody Schnoblin as 2 down linemen to one side, and then Cale Kern as the stand-up rusher on the other. He got very, very close to a couple of sacks there and showed he might be a pretty good athlete for the Panthers, not only in his ability to cover the pass like we saw last week, but showing some pass rush there as well. And like you said, just some real productivity. I think last week Matthew Johnson had 15 tackles. This way he leads the Panthers in tackles with, I believe, 10. If I'm seeing it right there, 10 tackles for Matthew Johnson, 25 through 2 weeks. He's a kid that flies all over the field. And complimenting him right next door, Trenton Kern, Cale's older brother. Trenton just feels like every week he has one hit that just kind of sets the tone for an entire drive for the Panthers. He stuck Malik Ba. I think it was still around a 4-yard gain, but had a nice stick after he ripped off that 30-yard run. Trenton Kern kind of came in, laid the wood down a little bit. Liked what I saw from the Kern boys. And then can't get too far talking about the Panthers without talking about the performance from Daxton Minton. We saw 286 passing yards. We knew he was a pretty good passer. The thing that stuck out to me this week, 89 rushing yards on 10 attempts, including a touchdown. We saw him use his legs not only to actually get yards downfield, but he still kept his eyes downfield looking for receivers when he scrambled, and really only relied on that his legs when he had to.
And what I liked about his running touchdown, he trucked the kid. He got to the end zone. It was mano-a-mano, and he bowled him over and got the touchdown. So that's nice to see from a quarterback.
And it wasn't a linebacker either. Like, I want to point out, he wasn't trying to go through a linebacker. It was a defensive back, which I like. Like, if it's a linebacker, maybe you don't, like, maybe you try to go around him if you're the sophomore quarterback. If it's a defensive back, you can kind of get through him a little bit more there. I liked that as well. And we did see him get shaken up. I believe it wasn't anything too serious. He came back into the game on the following drive. But we did see Cooper Omont come in like we were talking about earlier. And the Panthers, I believe, have a package where they use Cooper as the quarterback. But I don't know if this was in that design. But Omont showing the athleticism to roll out, kind of jump up and do a jump pass back to the left side. And an incredible play by Colton Brock to be able to get under it, make a guy, well, I guess break a tackle, just show some strength and get into the end zone.
Let's talk about the defensive backs. Game 1, you had a freshman going, 80 yards on an interception return. Sophomore Ian Premer almost takes it back. Premer's, 6'4". It could be awkward out there. He could be, I don't know how, you're a tall guy, but he doesn't play. He plays very low center of gravity. He's going to fight you when he gets the ball. And he had 2 more interceptions, so he's up to 3. I think it was Cooper, maybe saw the pick 6, drops an interception, and it might have been him on the sideline, 2 inches from getting his toe down for 2 interceptions for him. Just don't always talk about defensive backs, but very impressive.
Especially the 2 safeties there. And like you said, Ian Premer, he's a tall guy. He's a much more fluid athlete than I ever was in my career, even going up into when I was at Emporia State. That kid can move just not like he's supposed to be able to, I'll tell you. And I think he gets deceptive with some of the defensive backs. We talked about it a little bit last week where they see a bigger kid and they think he's not going to have that top-end speed. But he's a fast kid on the basketball court. We saw it there. We saw him breaking the transition, and he's able to run by people and then go up and make these incredibly athletic catches with that 6'4" frame. And like you said, Cooper Omot, been very impressive as a freshman safety, and something that might not have show up on the stat sheet as much, but he fills the run very well. Something that Coach Beck mentioned to me, having not only 2 young safeties who are that good in the pass as Omot and as Premer, but that can come down and fill in the run game, very helpful. And like you said, just being that young and that good gives you a lot of opportunities in front when your back line can play like that.
So maybe people haven't heard 28 points, it's 14-14, 10 minutes in, no scoring for a while. Great Bend scores, 47 seconds left of the third. Hayes answers right back, so you're still tied. Great Bend scores about 2:15 left, misses the kick. Hayes comes down, takes the lead. Great Bend still had a chance. How about on the field, especially with so much youth, the poise to, hey, we got 30 seconds, no timeouts, and we're going to make a game out of this.
And Great Bend was they came out with a plan, and they were attacking the left side. They were going to the right, as you said, in the press box. They were attacking the left side of the field, just 10-yard, 8-yard outs to Ian Premer and Maddox Spray, I believe, caught one over there as well, and just getting them out 6, maybe 10 yards a pop, just grinding it from their field position to where they could actually get into a spot to be in a position to kick a field goal. And like you said, very impressive that the Panther offense can be that methodical when you have so much youth. Very impressive for Daxton Minton not to get too aggressive with what he's trying to do and force something, taking the easy throws that the Hayes defense was giving him to put the Panthers in a position to be able to win the game.
And you could see it coming. It's quick out, quick out, quick out. Hey, we're going to go to the end zone. And they did, and I'm telling you, Premer was about 6 inches out. But the other kid we haven't really mentioned was Maddox Spray. Led the team, 6 receptions, 101 yards. Big old, 49-yard touchdown that was mostly his work. So having that 1-2 punch at wide out, good deal for Minton.
You know, I've seen you giddy one other time.
Were you at the Taylor Swift concert?
Exactly. You're giddy right now, Michael.
And I want this Panther team to do well, obviously, but you just can't help but think, man, nobody plays this well with freshmen and sophomores. And I know we've got solid seniors contributing, and they're playing a big role, but...
And I think they do something this year.
Absolutely. But to see, like I'm telling you, from game 1 to game 2, to see I'm talking to all the photographers down there, and I said, when Minton starts scrambling around and making passes, 22 out of 29 in your second varsity game, almost 300 yards. And then I'm telling you, Premer is just so many kids, it looks like they catch the ball, touch me, I'll go down. That's part of the game. He's going to make you work to get him down. I dig it.
It's going to be interesting. Great Bend gets Bueller
this Friday
night
at Bueller.
How about Hayes' schedule to start the season, man?
Starting off 2-0.
Junction City, I take the Panthers. Now they get Manhattan on Friday.
And that's a defending 6A state champion, Manhattan. It'll be a lot on the Hayes offense to be able to go out and do something against what I believe is going to be a pretty stout.
We didn't get the rematch last year between Hayes and Great Bend.
And that was what I thought kind of led into this one is Great Bend had the struggles when they played Hayes the first time. Yeah, they won. But Great Bend was playing so much better by the end of the year. You really wanted that rematch because it was 2 completely different mindsets going into that and missed it by 1 game.
Man, great conversation, guys. Sports Day today brought to you by Next Tech Wireless. Experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansas and advanced therapy and sports medicine. Get your life back. Sports Day rolling on here in a moment. Jim Mazunas in studio here. We'll talk more about the Panther game and everything else going on in the Golden Belt. Stay with us.
At Next Tech Wireless, it's wireless on your terms. You pick a 36, 24, or 18-month agreement and get a device on us like the iPhone 14 or the new Google Pixel 7. Stuck in a contract with your current provider? Switch now and get up to $1,000 per line. For more details, stop by your nearest Next Tech Wireless location today or call or text our customer care team at 877-621-2600. Next Tech Wireless, home on the range.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
He's covered more big games than anyone else in the Golden Belt. He might be on your sideline, in your gym, or just about anywhere there's a game. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mazunas.
Hi, Jimbo. Why don't you move that other? Why don't you go on mic 3 here today?
Mic 3, here we go.
Yeah. Jim Mazunas is in with us today on the program, and you had questions to begin the show?
Yeah, questions. Yeah. I was wondering, because on Hayes's, first of all, Hayes and Great Bend, that's one of the best early season high school games I've ever seen. You'll see that game week 8, week 9, when you get to postseason. That was absolutely one of the best high school games I've ever seen early season. You just don't see teams play with that kind of precision offensively and defensively for that matter. And it was a great ball game. So the question is first of all, Malik Ball is a tremendous athlete. He doesn't roll right. He rolls left. Right-handed runner rolls left. What a tremendous play and a tremendous call. But the question is begged, it's a run-pass option. What's the rule on linemen going downfield on a pass?
Well, they can.
Well, no, how many? They can go a yard. How many yards?
A couple yards, yeah.
Well, what's a couple? Give me a number.
2 yards.
Okay, 3 yards. The Hayes left tackle is 3 yards downfield, blocking the Great Bend defensive end. 3 yards downfield, they fall to the ground, maybe 4 yards. So that technically should have been called.
Correct.
Okay, because I can show you the replay, and
I'd like to see that.
There were two. There was one other controversial play, and I don't know the great.
Where did the Hayes receiver catch the ball?
In the end
line of
zone.
scrimmage. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in the end zone.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll show you the replay because I think they missed it. Now, the intentional grounding, that was a correct call. Cale Kern just rips the quarterback as he's thrown, so the ball didn't get out because Cale Kern was pushing him to the ground. So that was a correct call. And they threw a flag on that, and I think they were I don't think it was ever going to be intentional grounding. I think there was some question whether that was roughing the quarterback, but it was not. I mean, so if they picked up the flag because of that, that was a correct call.
Okay. All right.
And it was, it was a high-level game, high intensity. There were a lot of flags flown, at least 20. And
really?
And, of course, some of them were declines, some of them were offsetting. But the other interesting call was one time Great Bend had a pass that was deflected in the end zone, and it was really impossible to tell whether, and I think it was Spray, who looked like he caught it. I think it was number 10, Spray. And he raised the football like he caught it, but the official was right on the spot. So it's really hard to question that. And on replay, you really can't discern whether, but I think that was a good call. But again, I'd have to ask Aaron Beck.
High-level game.
Oh, yeah.
High-level athletes.
Yeah.
Man, you're out there, you just try to get it right.
Tremendous. I mean, it's never easy, that's for sure. And then the other question is, how often do you want to have a conference during the game? Because literally there was a conference after every flag, all 20 of them.
Did they have radios?
I don't know. That's a good question. But it just seemed like they delayed the game unnecessarily because, I mean, sometimes it's holding on the offense. Let's just mark it off, guys.
Maybe they didn't have radios. There should be conversation.
Is that,
I don't know, but I mean,
is that a crew by crew thing? Sometimes the crew chief wants to communicate what's up. Oh, you're right. Maybe it's a mic thing. You're right. I didn't think about that.
I mean, if you got radios, you can get the call and you find out. But anytime, it's better to talk about it. If one guy's got one thing, one guy's got the other.
Yeah, because Bueller,
come
I
together
think,
and talk about it.
Bueller, I think, was the first one where I heard they had a microphone, and they would do that. You're right. So maybe that was part of it. Then they wanted to communicate, which is good. I mean, that way everybody knows.
But what a football game!
Yeah, like I said, one of the first things that Aaron Beck said, "Hey, there are no losers in this game. We gave it everything we got. We had good coaching, good play, tremendous effort on both teams, and it was just one of those classic games where, hey, somebody had to lose, and unfortunately it was Great Bend in this case."
There's some other football excitement going too. How about Central Plains?
Yeah, Central Plains, the score is 14-12. Maxville quarterback Griffin has thrown for 2 touchdown passes. Central Plains scores the next 44 points. Tremendous offensive and defensive lines, real physical, tough kids, and good, hard running backs. And Brody Kreitz at quarterbacks is doing an excellent job. And so Central Plains is for real.
It's cool to see what Kinsley's doing right now. Ellenwood getting to 2-0.
Yeah, first time since '96. Tremendous effort. Coach Stint is doing an amazing job there. Rylan Wirtz had 3 touchdowns, and Drew Hines accounted for 2. But Jonathan Mason is a tremendous offensive defensive lineman for Ellenwood, too. They're getting it done the old-fashioned way. They'll run it right at you. Then Drew Hines will keep it on a quarterback keeper and then throw it every once in a while. Cooper Hosman is a legit receiver. So Ellenwood's for real, and that district is not near as what it was. It had Inman, which was the state runner-up last year, and then Sterling and Conway Springs are perennially strong teams. And right now, Medicine Lodge and Ellenwood are the only 2-0 teams in that district. Conway's 0-2, and so is Inman.
Ellenwood gets Stanton County, who's off to an 0-2 start, I believe,
on
Friday night. And
that's going to be another W.
Larned gets the win. They've got Smoky Valley this week.
Yeah, and Smoky is not what they've been.
No. So a chance to get 2 in a row. Thoughts on the Great Bend girls volleyball team getting off to a 9-0 start?
Oh, yeah. I think Coach Duval, they were looking at this just like Great Bend boys. They're looking at that sophomore class. We're going to be good for 3 years, guys, in everything. And Shelley Duval saw that senior class this year, and she said, hey, we're going to be competitive. They haven't quite gotten over the hump yet, but this is definitely the year where they're not going to be 19-15. They're going to have a great record, a superior record, and she schedules very aggressively. So she's going to get some good matches on down the road, but no surprise in Great Bend's case because they've got a senior-laden team, very experienced, gets a freshman coming in Kaya Bear, who is a tremendous asset, gives them 2 setters with Sadie Spray. And I don't know all the ins and outs of volleyball, but I'm told that if you got 2 setters, it's better than 1. So,
okay.
And Ellenwood Volleyball won their tournament again up at Ellsworth, and they're off to a great start, too. So 2 volleyball teams are off to a really good start.
Yep, Hoisington is
Hoisington's
right
very
there
good.
too.
They've got
St. John's really good.
They're very good. Yeah, Hoisington freshman Sophia Simic is perhaps the best freshman we've seen in years or decades because she's already a top 15 player in the state, as far as club ball, summer club volleyball, and she's given them another tremendous player, which they already have a good team.
So plenty of things here. What do you got? What else do you got, Jim? I don't even know where to go. I mean, with all.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like you said, Ellenwood and Central Plains have. I don't know if they've been surprises, but they certainly are pleased with what they've done so far because both teams were have. Central Plains had a rare losing season, and Ellenwood, they haven't had done anything for about 10 years. So both teams are off to great starts, confidence, and, senior-laden teams, and so they're going to have a lot of success on down the road. Yeah, I would say the other one that I'd seen over the weekend was Great Bend's girls cross-country team finished 5th up at Olathe under the night relays, and they'd finished 15th last year. So that's, again, they don't have a lot of depth, but they're 7 or 8 good runners, and that's good enough to be competitive at the 5A level.
Yeah, Addie Nicholson breaking 19
Yeah,
and just shattering that.
Yeah, that's again, when you're at your best times early in the season, that's definitely a good sign, because usually you drop a little bit of time as the season goes along, but they're already in great shape. Good off season for the girls, and off to a great start for Coach Lyles Lashley and company.
Other than the Bears, we won't talk about them.
No, not till week 3.
K-State, Missouri, Saturday.
Yeah, it should be fun. It was like a 5.5-point favorite for the Cats, so it should be interesting. Yeah, K-State's defense has been better than they've thought so far. They're only giving up 36 yards rushing a game, which maybe they haven't faced the top 2 rushing teams in the country by any means. And quarterback play's been solid. And the thing that I noted was their receivers are tiny. If you put Great Bend's receivers out there, they would tower over these 5'9" and 5'8" K-State receivers. So that's one thing I'm certainly concerned about, is when they face real physical defensive backs and teams that can rough them up a little bit, I wonder how that's going to translate. And their running back from Florida State, Ward, he's tiny too. He's not Deuce Vaughn tiny, but he's only like 5'8" also. So they've only really got Howard is a good power runner, and then their other back is a decent-sized kid. But that's the thing that concerns me, is just the sheer size of their receivers is less than you would hope for.
And Kansas State's staying at number 15. There's a lot of moving around, but so far they...
Yeah, and Kansas has a shot to go 3-0. They play Nevada in the 9:30 game Saturday night. So, and actually it'll be on Real TV, I think. So, no, actually you could watch the game last Friday too. But they have a great chance to start off 3-0 too. And how about Texas beating Alabama? You know, it's interesting when the SEC plays real teams in non-conference, when they play their one or they have 5 non-conference games and maybe 5 conference games. They don't do as well as people think. I mean, Texas, tremendous win for the Big 12, but SEC
for a
will
short
say,
time,
they'll say, well, they're really an SEC team now.
Yeah, and KU, they'll go
Yeah,
as
they're
far
off
as
to a great start.
Jalen Daniels can take them. Jim, thanks for coming in today. Yeah, just keep savoring that game on Friday night.
Yeah,
That was one for the
it's going to
ages.
be a fun season for the Great Bend Panther football team for sure.
Jim Mizunas here on Sports Day, brought to you in part by Equity Bank. No ATM fees nationwide. Learn more at equitybank.com, and by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Mike Corson, Lyles Lashley up next.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Barton Community College helped me get a jump start on college with early college opportunities. With Barton's help, I earned my degree at the same time I graduated from high school. You can take classes on campus, online, and even at your high school with teachers you already know. With tuition rates starting at $50 per credit hour for select Kansas high school audiences and scholarship opportunities, it is easier than ever. Barton Community College helped me get one step closer to my dream, and it can help you too. Learn more at highschool.bartonccc.edu.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Today, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Panther cross country coach Lyles Lashley. Coach, another really good weekend for you guys. How you going?
It's going well here this morning. Just sitting there grading little papers and
getting on my little planning period and looking forward for a nice, cool week this week.
Nice change. Well, let's go back to Saturday night, the giant Olathe Twilight meet. Kind of remind people what we're talking about when we say that's a big meet.
It's particularly pretty huge. So we got, for like 41 schools and 1,600 runners. And, you got your best of the East and Kansas City and Topeka, and then you factor in some really good Kansas City, Missouri schools. Actually, I think one of them came from all the way from Columbia also. So you get to see a little variety of schools there. So it's kind of a nice little deal. The best of the best in the 6A. I think the 6A had their top 5 schools they had from last year at the state meet were there, and the ones that are they're kind of the same ones ranked in the top 5 right now too. So good to see also a lot of good competition.
And I think your girls finished 15th there last year, climbed all the way up to 5th this year, and that's behind really one of the best teams in the country, Olathe West, one of the best teams in the state, St. James, and then 2 of Missouri's best teams.
Yes, 2 Missouri schools I think were 3rd and 5th last year at the state meet, and I don't think they lost a whole lot from that in their biggest classification. And of course, St. James and then Olathe West, who's made it to the Nike NXM Nationals last year, which we all strive for, and we all said even the great teams Aquinas has had over the years, they haven't made it there, and there's a few other schools that have some great teams and they haven't made it. You got to be the best of the best to get out of the Heartland region too, with your South Dakotas and your Minnesotas and all those big states in there that are cross country guru states. So it's pretty cool to see them and make it to the Nationals and then have a chance to compete against them.
And then one of my favorite runners in the state, Anjali Hawker Singh from Olathe North, wins it, 17:41. Of all the great runners Great Bend has had, especially of late, no one had ever run under 19. Addie Nicholson finishes 12th overall. Doesn't just cut 19. She goes 31 seconds under for 12th place. How about that performance?
Yeah, it was awesome. With about 300 to go, I told her where she's at, and if she could go, she would have a chance to break 18:30. And she definitely took off and got under 18:30, and it was pretty much exhausted when she got done. But I think it was really nice to see girls like that with Morgan and Eliana and her that have been in the program, all those things. And even Bowden Moore, I was just looking at Bowden Moore, and when he was a freshman, he ran 26 minutes as a freshman in the 5K. And then each year he's progressed. He ran 18:04 the other night. So to see those seniors, their hard work and stick with it for 4 years, and especially for Addie, to come in there and each year shave off time, and then crush one on Thursday night or Saturday night. It was just very pleasing to see.
Talking to Panther cross country coach Lyles Lashley. Yeah, and so what does she have? 3 school records now. She broke the 1600 in Salina last year?
And that was the region meet last year. The region meet, she broke that. Then at the state meet, she was part of the 4x8 that broke the school record. And then now, I don't really like to say school record in cross country since so many different things, but she's run the fastest time ever, is what I like to say. We'll count it as a school record, but, since so many courses are so many different, you just, never say. But like I said, no other girl broke in 19, and she crushed it, so.
And then we've seen the rankings. You guys, Great Bend is kind of in the 2 to 3 range behind St. James, maybe Aquinas. Talk about the whole team. We got junior Marissa Boone going 37th in the really tough meet. And then seniors Ileana Beckham and Mackenzie Premer really come in at the same time. Just how good is this team this year?
Yeah, they're definitely getting better and better each week, and as we progress. The main thing now is to keep working hard, stay healthy, then keep progressing toward the major goals of getting as close to St. James as we can. Obviously, if you look at it, we're the 3rd fastest team overall in the state of Kansas, all classes. But the only problem is you got St. James that's in there. They're in 5A also. So each week we just got each workout, each day, and it's just like I always say, it's little things. What we're doing, are we taking care of our business of sleep? Are we eating correctly? Are we doing the right things? Are we hydrating? those things all come into a factor, as the season progresses.
And I always like to say you're going to Buhler this week. Your home meet, you had probably the best runner in the state with Roop from Salina Central, so your girls don't win. This one, top 10 finish is awesome. So how fun to kind of now get back into the more mundane and races where maybe you guys are going to win some races individually.
Well, the Salina Central is going to Buhler this year, so with that, and, to be successful in cross country, it's kind of hard to go out and run like we did Saturday night, week in and week out. So, this week will be a week where we set some team goals and some team things more than the individual stuff, and where that way we're just not out crushing, each race each week. And if you're going to be successful cross country, you want to pick and choose 3 or 4 races that you really want to hammer at the most in the season. And this week will be more of a team effort type of deal where we're going out and doing stuff or as a group or different groups and that kind of stuff too. So yeah, it's nice to get to a smaller meet, but it's nice that finally we're going to be at Buhler and it won't be 112. So that'll be good too. So usually their meet's about 105 degrees and out in that dry desert. Of course they got, and our kids usually hate it, but this should have some good weather this year.
Coach Lyles Lashley, thanks for joining us. Good luck this week.
Thank you, Mike.
More Sports Day after this.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, brought to you by Eller Automotive Repair, a local mechanic that can help behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, and the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend. Of course, brought to you exclusively by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. All right, already looking ahead to week 3. Football season just starts going really fast once you start rolling downhill here. Great Bend at Buhler. Buhler's 1-1. Hayes High 2-0 at Manhattan 2-0. Liberals interesting. Aaron Clark 2-0 start. They're probably going to be 3-0. Topeka's not very good at all, and Liberal could be 3-0. It's been a while since I remember them being 3-0. Wichita West at Garden City. Both those teams 1-1, and Dodge City at Wichita South 1-1 and 0-2. Lions at Hoisington, Smoky Valley at Larned. Larned with a great chance to get to 2-1. Halstead's at Pratt. At games in Ellenwood at home against Stanton County. Stanton County's 1-1. I think I said they were 0-2. Let's see. Kinsley at Maxville. Central Plains at La Crosse. Interesting matchup there.
Man, I'm really excited to see what Larned can do. I feel like they had a very tough matchup in week 1 against a pretty stout Pratt team, and then in week 2, Lions just traditionally might not be the best, but looking forward to seeing what Coach Brady Keith can do in week 3 against Smoky Valley.
Okay, so we'll talk volleyball tomorrow with Shelly Duvall. Who else is in on Tuesday? Oh, Brett Stint from Ellenwood. And Cole Rife. Yeah, Cole Rife.
Get the senior voice of the Cardinals.
Continue to take it around here. Oh, wait. What's that? Go ahead, Hesh.
It's the A team will return on Friday for